Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your man, Tim Swain, and I believe the children are the future. Teach them well, let them lead the way. I also believe that Africa is not just the future, Africa is the present. And the only way to close the skill gap is by teaching people the skills that they need to be productive in society. Today, I'm sitting down with the co-founder of Blossom Academy as we're talking about how to create economic opportunities for every African youth. So what's up, everybody? Listen, I'm back with an amazing guest. We have an amazing opportunity. I guarantee you want to hear about this. So Jeff,
yes,
thank you so much for being with me.
Yep.
When I heard about this opportunity that Blossom is doing, I was excited. I had to sit down so we can get this message out to people.
Yep.
So do us a favor. Tell us your role in the organization,
right,
and give us an overview of Blossom Academy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Jeff Champon. I am the co-founder and CEO of Blossom Academy. What Blossom Academy does is we exist to close the data skills gap in Africa's job market. Why data? We realize that every business is generating data today. However, there are not enough talented people who are capable of extracting actionable insights from that data. So Blossom Academy saw an opportunity and we decided to actually jump in and help solve the problem that we have noticed.
Wow,
Yep.
wow. Such a very well-refined response, man. I can tell you're a professional. But let's back up.
Yep.
Where did the idea for Blossom Academy actually birth?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this idea has been following me for quite some time before the company actually launched. So prior to launching Blossom Academy, I did economics in school. I worked on Wall Street for a bit as a data solutions consultant. So my role was essentially advising multinationals and startups how they can leverage their data to achieve a competitive advantage. Following that experience, I also helped launch a company in the States. I was a founding member called Isuzu Financial, which provides data solutions to low to middle income consumers. And then moved to Kenya to work as a business development officer in a data company. So in essence, I have been in the data space for quite some time, and while I was in Kenya, I noticed a problem that I really wanted to solve, which was the startups in Kenya, specifically high growth startups, were spending millions of dollars each year hiring data scientists from abroad. However, I was like, wait, there are so many talented people here. Why are you guys going abroad? So I kept talking to as many startups as possible and realized that the problem was not just in Kenya, but in Ghana, in Nigeria, in South Africa. So my team and I thought, why don't we actually identify high potential talents across the African continent, provide them with rigorous training in data science, data engineering, data analytics, equip them with the relevant soft skills, and then connect them to industry. So very simple idea, but it's blossomed, for lack of better words, and we're really excited to see where this takes us.
Now Blossom has been around for roughly how much time?
Yeah, so roughly about 3 years now.
All right.
Yep.
So you talk about providing this rigorous training in data. What is it about this particular area that will enable young Africans to be able to basically, improve the continent and improve their lives? Why not something else?
Yep, absolutely. So, one thing I tell my team, right, almost every meeting we have is that my goal, right, is for them to actually go to their local watches seller by the street and realize that this watches seller is leveraging data to inform how much food, right, he or she is cooking in a given week, right, to make sure there's not a surplus of food that goes to waste, right. Our goal here is to create a data-driven culture. That's the vision of Blossom Academy, right, because we believe that African youth who can actually understand and communicate data will emerge as the radical pioneers of economic development, right? And we think that for so long, decisions have been made based on gut feelings as opposed to facts and as opposed to leveraging data points from the past. So we actually are launching Blossom Academy not just to provide job placements, but we see this as actually helping promote the economic growth of the African continent.
Wow, wow. You know, I get it, right? I understand when you talk about data, but I really do want to break it down for someone who may be watching this for the first time and they've heard this term, but they don't really know what data is.
Yep.
What is, I mean, it sounds very simple, okay?
Yep.
But what is data? You made a mention about the watch a seller. What is data
Absolutely.
to the watch a seller?
Absolutely. So I think data can easily be termed as information,
Okay.
right? Now, this information can either be, unstructured or it can be structured. Now, the reality is that the data that a lot of businesses or informal companies or informal businesses collect are very unstructured. So that's where Blossom Academy comes in. How do we take that data that's been collected and how do we extract insights from it, right? And help the business owner make the appropriate decisions, right? Because at the moment, most decisions that are being made across Ghana, across the African continent, are being made based on gut feelings, are being made based on what people think is the right thing. But if you can actually take the time to say, this information I've gathered over the past 2 years on my customers, on their buying behavior, I can actually put that in an Excel spreadsheet or actually, blow that up on the computer and find some patterns. It helps you understand how you can win more customers and how you can better serve them, which ties into, the beauty of customer service here as well.
How do you see data being utilized as a vehicle to improve just the everyday conditions in a place like Ghana? Business development, economic development, how could data do that?
Well, I mean, look, data has a role in every single sector right here. Now, when I worked in Kenya, I'll share an example. I spoke to the CEO of the company that I worked with, and, he asked me a question of who is Coca-Cola's competitor, right? And I mean, the right answer might be, like Malta Guinness or Pepsi or you name it. But he said, well, when you're operating on the African continent, you realize that Coca-Cola's competitor could be MTN or Safaricom, right? Because the customer's wallet is constrained. So as a customer, you need to decide, today, are you going to spend this amount of money I have on a Coke, or am I going to buy credit so I can call a relative abroad, right? These are little creative ways that the companies that get it are leveraging data. And let's take it a step further, or more so, let's look into a different space. So let's say agricultural space. Imagine a farmer, right, is able to actually use data to inform him or her of when the rain would fall. This really helps them forecast how they should actually plant and grow their crops, right? Eventually feeding nations. It applies in the healthcare sector. Anyone who's lived in Ghana can tell you data happens to be scattered all over the place. Now, patients are unable to actually, identify their right records because it's written on paper. You know what I mean? So by actually gathering this data, I think number one is data collection part, which I feel like we're still yet to figure out. So by actually collecting the data, gathering it, it positions analysts from Blossom Academy to actually extract insights from it. And then I think what we do very well is train them how to communicate that to a stakeholder, right? So it applies in different industries, and I believe that every industry today needs to actually leverage data to be competitive and also to be there a decade from now.
Wow, it's true, and it's effective on the high level, and then even just on the level of an emerging business leader.
Yep.
I was having a conversation with an Uber driver.
Yep.
In Ghana, I don't have a car yet.
Yeah.
But that will change.
I love it.
But, at the end of the ride, he said, if you need some personal driving, blah, 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 blah,
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay. The guy was nice and everything like that. So, he was just WhatsApping me, hey, I hope you're doing well. Do you need a ride today? And I had an idea. I said, listen, I asked him, how many drivers do you pick every day?
Mm-hmm.
How many people do you access to? I said, I asked him, how do you manage all of these people? He said, I just remember. I said, Charlie, you won't remember.
Yep.
But I said, can you imagine if someone like myself, for one day, let's say I paid you 100 Ghana cedis, which I have before, right? To take me to all of these places around. Now, can you imagine if you're picking 10 customers a day
Mm.
and you're asking this many?
Yep.
Now you have some kind of way to keep track of all them.
Absolutely.
And you're sending out messages once a week.
Yes.
If you need a ride, let me know.
Absolutely.
And just 10 of me.
Yep.
Once a month. That's
Yep.
1,000 Ghana cedis.
Very true.
In
Yep.
addition to what you may be making as a driver.
Absolutely.
But if you don't have a way to collect this information
Yes.
and manage it,
Yes.
and for that person, it doesn't have to be it can just simply be,
Yep.
you can just write these things down on WhatsApp.
Absolutely.
But we know the power of it. So now let's talk about the school
Yes.
itself. What type of courses does the school offer?
Right, so Blossom Academy has different segments. We have a segment that focuses on working professionals, which is helping them, either switch careers because they may not be fulfilled in their current roles, or just helping them get promoted within their current company. So we are seeing anywhere from 2x to 5x increase in salary after they go through Blossom Academy, relative to what they were making before coming to Blossom. Now, the courses they usually go through are data science, data engineering, data analytics. Data analytics is the one that usually people take when they want to get promoted. Data science, data engineering are what they take when they want to switch career paths. Now, we also have corporate trainings where we engage with government agencies and private companies and multinationals here, where they want to learn things like advanced Excel, database management, cybersecurity. We just finished a cybersecurity course last week. And these trainings essentially help them, be a bit more productive in their current roles at work. And the last arm is identifying unemployed youth, right? Which is essentially what catapulted the mission of Blossom, okay. Right? So we've been able to raise grants where we actually provide free training to a number of unemployed youth and help them actually break into the workforce. So after we train them, we assist them on creating an Upwork and a Fiverr profile. So in case they're not even working full-time yet, they can start making money online. So a good example is one of our graduates from Cameroon called Arnold. Arnold went through the program, ended up going on Upwork. I think he spent the entire 2020 working on projects on Upwork. Kept seeing on LinkedIn, he was updating, hey, this person gave me this compliment, recommendation. And today he leveraged one of those projects to get a job in the United States, right, in Massachusetts. So it's beautiful to see how the model actually works. And we are still refining that part of the business as well, because for it to be sustainable, it requires grants. But I believe in figuring out how we can actually, pump in our own capital back into the business to make sure that, we are also, self-sustainable as well.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question, right?
Yep.
For that unemployed youth that has a vision, maybe he or she has skills, but they just need to be refined.
Yep.
How do they actually pay for the opportunity?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Let's say once you identify the youth, what's the process from there? How do they actually become a part of Blossom Academy? Yeah,
so there's been scenarios where international organizations operating in Ghana have approached us to actually conduct a fellowship program for unemployed youth, right? This is just part of their mandate being in the country. Or mandate is the wrong word, but part of they want to give back, right? Now, how do we identify them? We look for youth who came from quantitative or engineering backgrounds, so statistics, mathematics, computer science, computer engineering, etc. We get them by talking to professors, by holding career fairs in their schools, attracting them. Now, once they come into our database, we engage them monthly, and then once there's time to implement a program, we give them a project to work on. Now, we're not looking for who actually has the best analysis, but who actually puts in the best commitment, right? Who puts in their best effort when working on this data project that we give them. So following that data project, we pick the top 10%, we interview them and assess soft skills. So we're looking at things like grit, their level of resourcefulness, whether they display integrity, whether they have the right time management, right? These are core values of Blossom Academy. So following that experience, that's where we're able to identify that, okay, this will be the pool of people that we want to train. But even before we select that final pool, we've partnered with an organization in the US called Data Camp, where they take courses on Data Camp, and it's gamified. So those who have the highest score are the ones that we actually retain and train them over a period of 4 to 6 months, and then help them actually get jobs afterwards.
Now, when we talk about youth, let's clarify.
Yep.
What kind of age range are we speaking about?
Great question. So we've seen anywhere from 21 to about 28 is the highest we've seen so far.
Okay.
And everyone who, when I say they fall into that category, they are all unemployed. So in essence, they finish school, but they cannot, get a formal job. So they might be either driving Uber, or they have a side business, but they need something to actually help them break into the workforce.
Now, is there anything done for the younger demographic?
Yes. So that's one I didn't mention because we are now testing that. We have a program, they're actually coming in today. Hopefully you can see some of them. We have a program for high school students, but it's only focused on data analytics using Python.
Wow.
Reason being is because we believe that when they can learn very early on, this will position them to actually excel once they even get to the university. I did my undergrad at NYU, and I remember when I got there, I was very lost. I didn't know what to study. All I knew is that my family said, go be a doctor, so take pre-med, right? So I'm sitting in the back of an organic chemistry class, and I'm like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it took a conversation with a friend who comes from a very well-off family. His family had been on Wall Street for God knows how many years, and goes, hey, based on our conversation, you might do well in economics. Why don't you do economics, right? And that conversation actually, led me to look into what economics is and actually pursue it as well. So again, I think in my life, conversations have played a very big role into how I've come so far in my journey as an entrepreneur.
Now how many students has Blossom trained since its inception?
Yep. So we've trained roughly over 200 students. Majority of them being a mix of unemployed youth and working professionals.
Now, what about, you mentioned earlier about job placement rate.
Yep.
What has been, of that 200, the job placement rate, and where have some of those jobs been?
Yep. So we have roughly about an 85% job placement rate. So some of the companies that hire our graduates in Ghana, or some of the companies where our working professionals come from as well, includes Fidelity Bank, MTN, the World Food Program. We have startups like Peg Africa that hire them as well. So it's just diverse, different kinds of companies. But the reality is that Ghana is still early when it comes to making sense of their data. Companies here, right? So we also look at companies abroad as well, right? Startups abroad who are looking to hire remote talent. The way we go about it is identifying accelerator programs where they have a graduating class, and I might say, hey, this graduating class that we have, they're looking for someone to actually make sense of their data, but they've only raised about 200K in working capital. Maybe leveraging talents from Blossom Academy might make sense for them. So after working with some of our graduates, they end up saying, hey, let me actually hire them full-time, or hey, it's not a good fit, right? And that means that we need to actually support the graduate and actually get in another placement. Now, the reality is that because we're also a small team, our efforts are a bit constrained. So I think as we grow, we'll be able to hire teams that actually are focused on saying, hey, if this person couldn't survive in this role for X number of months, how do we actually help them get a better job as quickly as possible? So the time to switch careers, so the time to get placements at Blossom has been anywhere from 30 to 90 days, so 1 to 3 months. And we're looking to actually cut that to strictly 30 days.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So if you come to Blossom, the goal is not just to learn. The goal is to get placed on the job and improve your life and improve maybe the conditions where you are.
Yeah, I mean, the mission is to create economic equality or economic opportunity rather for all African youth. And we believe that closing the skills gap is a start. The idea is to build on that and do more things, but the first start is closing that skills gap. Yeah.
I can tell you just, I'm not looking for data folks right now, but I can just tell you certain skills that I've looked for even in my nonprofit and personally. I can tell you there's a skill gap. Hey, there's a skill gap.
Yeah,
like, oh 100%. My God, you're a university graduate, you don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
You don't know the word Microsoft Office.
Why? No, not even just university. We run some corporate trainings where we've had to do it on Microsoft Word. And I'm like, wow, I take these things for granted because, living in the States, working,
Microsoft Office is like
exactly right. But these are things that people need, right? It's quite interesting seeing that there's this huge gap in we're excited, right, to fill that gap. And you know what's beautiful about the model, and people always get confused when I say this, is that we've seen alumni who are starting data academies as well, right, here in Ghana.
Wow.
This tells me there's a demand, right?
Yes.
And this tells me that, you know, we cannot do it alone because we're still, you know, making profits. We're still alive. We're still doing well. So, you know, we support them, right, to make sure that they actually can also, you know, get further on their journey. But what's beautiful as well is that, you know, Ghana is not just our market. We get students from Kenya, from Nigeria, even get students from Germany, the UK, the US as well. So I don't know how we do it. I couldn't give you the answer if you were to ask.
You don't have the data on how you.
I don't know how we even target them for them to come. It's crazy, you know. Yeah, and I think, you know, I'm a very big believer in God. So I think it's just the power of God of how they've been coming to the academy.
It has to be. You know,
absolutely.
The one thing about Africa is we believe in God.
Yes.
You have to. If you don't, then you won't make it.
Absolutely, man.
So someone watching this, interested in Blossom Academy. Maybe it's a parent of a youth high school. Maybe it's someone that's interested in switching careers. Maybe it's someone that's unemployed, so they're just watching this YouTube video. Thank you for doing that, by the way. What's the next step for them if they want to know about Blossom or potentially become a student?
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to learn more about Blossom Academy, you can visit our website. You know, to read more information, blossomacademy.co.co. Or you can just search blossomgh.com. Sorry. Now, what we usually recommend people to actually call. We're able to have a conversation with them to actually really understand what gaps they are facing in their journey, and actually recommend the right courses for them. I'll give you an example. There's 2 people going through our programs from Unilever at the moment, going through our data science programs. And when you talk to them, realize that actually you shouldn't be doing data science, you should be doing data analytics. That's what you need on the job at the moment, because they're facing quite a number of roadblocks at the moment. We have to take time to actually help them overcome those roadblocks. So placing those calls assist us to actually say, hey, how can we actually assist you in identifying the right career path for you? Maybe it might not be data science, it might be something in software engineering.
I get you.
Right. Now, for the numbers, you can either call 055-773-6725 or 020-185-2025.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to call, you can email us, which is on the website as well.
And we'll have all the information in the description below.
Absolutely.
So you can see the description below. The information is there, guys.
Perfect.
Well, I think that this is a wonderful opportunity, and as you said, right, closing that skill gap is essential, is needed, and we're grateful that you and the other co-founder had this vision to really improve the lives of folks everywhere, particularly folks starting here in Africa.
Yeah.
And we really do pray that Blossom will, for lack of a better term, continue to blossom, train more people, and be able to get people connected. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with me today and explaining more about Blossom. We really do pray that the numbers will increase.
Yes.
And we'll just continue improving the lives of people. And thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. I sincerely appreciate it. As always, you always know what I'm going to say. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. Until next time, peace.